Well, I'm sure you've all heard the analogy that's been used about the frog that's put into a pot of water. You know, if you take a frog and you were going to cook it, you know, the crabs are cooked alive. But if you took a frog and you put him in a pot of boiling water, as soon as he hit that hot boiling water, he would leap right out of that pot. But it's said that if you take a frog and you put him in a pot of cool water and you slowly turn the heat up, just incrementally get a little hotter, he will sit in that pot until he boils, until he dies. Well, you know, Satan is always trying to work incrementally, trying to erode a little bit at a time. And he and his cohorts, those servants of his that are upon the earth now, or who are after global governance and who want Jesus erased so that they can restore Lucifer back to the head of the planet, so they think he's the good brother of Jesus, and that Jesus tries to hold us to his will, to be slaves to his will. How deluded, how much in darkness they are. They work very incrementally, and they even talk about that in their meetings. Make sure you're incremental, make one little law at a time, take one little freedom at a time. But they're really after the family unit. They know that the real strength is what God created. God created marriage as the first institution, the family, and then he created the government, and then he created the church. But you know, they're trying to attack it all the time. And look at this. You used to see that on Saturdays is when all the sports were played. You could play t-ball, you could play baseball, you could play soccer, you could join teams at little leagues, etc. And then gradually they shifted it to Sunday, but they were very careful because they're not just after the global, they go for the grassroots, all the individual communities and families. If you want to play sports, it's going to be on Sunday. Now, we found out some people work on Saturday, so we're going to make sure it's going to start not until 3:30 or not until 4 or maybe 2:30, but we'll make sure it doesn't interfere with people going to worship. And so they did that for a while, and they slowly moved it. Then they moved it back to 1 o'clock. Then they moved it to 12:30, and then to 12, and then 11:30, and then 11. And most of all those sports now are played on a Sunday morning. And what is the devil after? To prevent us from coming out and gathering together as the body of Christ. Any excuse. Well, you know, it's the only time my child can play. Mary and Martha, when Jesus came to visit them, Mary sat at Jesus' feet and listened to his word, but Martha was cumbered about much serving. She was taken up with those things. But Mary chose the better part. We really do have to choose. You know, heard a Nigerian pastor saying, here people face death every day from sickness, from dirty water, from persecution from the Muslims, but they will walk 10 miles to come to worship. What excuse do we use? Do we allow anything to hold us back from gathering together as the Lord has commanded us to gather together as the body of Christ? Let's put Jesus first. He put us first. He loves us. Let's bask in that love together as the body of Christ.